Hey everyone, Sycra here, and today I'm doing some costume designs for Kay, the space waitress. Um, and so the first thing I'm doing is I'm just, roughing in uh, like a model of Kay so I can figure out, so I can have something to put the clothes on top of. And I always start with a super rough sketch, and then this is like a second phase that I go through where I'm just fleshing things out more. But I'm going to skip the cleanup phase because there's like a third phase that I've talked about before, which is after you quickly rough in things and then you get the proportions and stuff right, then you tend to clean it up. But this isn't going to be clean because this is all about iteration and exploration. Now, I do have an idea. When I first did the original sketch of Kay, I kind of had an idea of what kind of costume she'd be wearing. But at the same time, it doesn't mean I'm going to stick with that idea 100% and that's the best idea. That's just an idea, and it's my first idea. So usually the first idea isn't the best idea, but it's a starting point. And here what I've done is just made a bunch of, just copied and pasted K a bunch of times. So it's sort of motivating for me to fill up each model with a different costume. So kind of makes me work more by just having this thing where I had a bunch of figures. So yeah, she's got these very weird shoes, very crazy. In this one, the outfit, like the original outfit, was very pretty much just skin tight and there wasn't much detail. And the reason for that is, I guess it just goes back to my comic days when I was young and I looked through a lot of comics, and a lot of comic characters, especially Western ones, like it's not so much in Japan, but they have just skin tight uniforms, which it's like you're basically naked except you're painted different colors. So I figured, yeah, I don't hate those. I mean, K is pretty much just whatever I think is cool or interesting, and so I started with that, and then I thought, no, let's give her a jacket, and I like these short jackets, so it's like, okay, let's try that. But I'm also going through variations. Like, do I want long sleeves? Do I want short sleeves? Just playing around with different shapes. But what I'm always considering with this is a design language. Now, sometimes the design language is dictated by the rest of whatever the series is that you're working with. Like maybe you're working on a character and the design language is there's a lot of curves in the style, so it's like, well, okay, you work with that. With Kay, she's super sharp because it's my thing, so I'm gonna make Kay sort of the embodiment of my pointy thing with lots of sharp edges. And so I'm repeating these sharp shapes. So you'll see triangles everywhere. Triangles in the hair, triangles in the collar, just a lot of triangles. And that's what I'm working with. I don't like to disrupt that with a bunch of like square boxy shapes. And here I just removed the jacket and I'm doing what's underneath, because it's important to know that too. What is underneath your design. And I've pretty much got what I wanted, which is the regular outfit. The jacket is part of her waitress uniform, but I figure the rest is just stuff she could wear. Like she wears it underneath and it's not necessarily part of the uniform. And now I'm working on a space helmet, like a space suit for her. But I've never really done this before, so I'm really struggling with this part. But I figure, okay, just, do whatever you can and think about shapes and think about appealing shapes. And then if it's not very good, make another version and do another iteration, So with these little details, like the arm things, it's like, I don't know how this is going to be. I don't know how, maybe she's wearing some kind of boots and maybe the boots have built-in thrusters or something. So it's like, well, that's an idea. So let's try that. And then I just, copy, paste, let's try modifying it. And I think this is just super effective as a method. I kind of did this before when I was when I would do more work for clients, but maybe not this exact way of just copying and pasting and then making changes. Or sometimes I don't copy and paste, but still, I get a lot more iterations done this way. So it's cool. I really like it, and I feel like I can get a lot of work done this way. So here I'm again changing the legs, and then on this one I figured, okay, let's make some modifications, but I also want to do one without the helmet just so I can see what it looks like without the helmet. And usually on the last ones I do, like this is the last spacesuit, and it's because I kind of feel like, yeah, okay, I'm happy with this, I'm comfortable with this. And so now that I've got her main outfit done and the space outfit done, I'm thinking maybe just casual clothes, and not necessarily clothes that she would wear, but more, I guess this is more just for experimentation, just playing, like, what if she wore clothes like this? What would it look like? I like the idea of collars, the very high collars, which kind of cover your mouth. And I also like the idea of the long sleeves that go down pretty low on the hand. And then here I was thinking, what would she wear for evening wear? Like at a fancy dinner or something. And I don't know if it really fits, but it's, again, just why not? You've got the figure, you can try it. You don't have to worry about anything, really. It's just a drawing. And I guess at first it takes a while to do drawings, but once you've got more experience, it doesn't take that long. So now what I've done is I've gone ahead and chosen colors, and I didn't want to, waste your time by just showing you me filling in the initial colors, because that's, a lot of lasso tooling and selecting outlines. And I've shown that in previous videos. You can just imagine it took quite a while to get all that lassoing done, probably 2 or 3 hours maybe. And so I did that, and I got like what I imagine the colors to be using the head colors from the previous episode. And now I'm just playing around with it. Like, okay, fine. You had your first shot at it. Now try something different. And because this technique is so useful for creating iterations, because I just magic wand areas and I can change the color of like the jacket and it'll affect all the jackets. It's really, really easy to get a bunch of variations. And really, this is my favorite part of images. It's the most fun. With this figure, because it's just costume design, I don't get to see as much change on the same page, but still, I really just have a lot of fun playing around with colors, adjusting things. And some of the, I guess, tips would be, first of all, make sure you pick a background color that is working with your character, that shows them off. For instance, if your character has a lot of white, you might not want to put them on a white background. I had to go with a gray simply because I'm working on a lot of different colors and like different color designs and stuff. So what could work for one design might not work for another. For instance, if I made the pants yellow and the background blue, sure, that makes the pants pop out. But then if the next design, the background's blue and the pants are blue, then it's kind of going to blend in and you won't get a good read on the silhouette. So that's the first thing. The other thing I'm struggling with is I wanted to use a very light pastel-ish palette for Kay, for the whole thing, for the skin and the hair and everything. It's just gonna, and the backgrounds, they're all going to be very light in terms of value, but very colorful. But because of that, I'm not really going dark too much, and it feels like I'm a bit more limited because, for instance, red, the color red, is a darker value. So just making something really red shifts the whole value scale down, and then if everything is really light and you've got just a red that's pretty dark, it's gonna feel a bit weird. So because of that, I've had to be extra careful with the colors I choose, and they're not always, what I consider perfect, but it's like, well, it's more important to me that they work, and it's like, well, it works well as a design. It's got to look good as a design, and then if it does, I can always go to another one, but I don't want it to look like the colors are just poorly chosen. I want all of them to look like, well, they look pretty professional in a way. It's just more a matter of what do you like. And so I've got, what do we have here? A, B, C, D, E, F. I'm on F now, and playing around with saturating the jacket, because I thought, what if I make the jacket more colorful? And eventually I thought, no, what if I just make it white? And I kind of like that. But what I'm really thinking of is not just picking colors, because picking colors and getting the right value or the right hue, just the right color, a lot of that you can see, I am really experimenting with the hue and saturation and just, moving it, adjusting it until it looks good. But what is most important is that for me, I want to look at the head first. So I can't make the clothes too much more interesting than the head in terms of colors. So I might go a bit more dull or a bit more desaturated with the colors, just so that your head is going to the pink, or your eye is going to the pink of her hair, or like her skin tone, which is this light teal color. So that's really what I'm thinking of. Like, is it distracting? Is it all working together? So here I'm just experimenting with a very green color scheme, and I have to make sure everything is working within that. So I move everything sort of analogous to an analogous color scheme. And what that is like, if you use yellow, you can use like oranges and reds and greens and blue greens, because they're close to yellow, but you wouldn't use purples. Or at least if you used purples, you'd really desaturate them. So that's kind of the rule I'm sticking to. And yeah, here I just gave her pink pants and some light blue trim as an experiment to try something different. So, I mean, pretty much that's it. There's not a whole lot more. Just playing around with color variations. And you can let me know which one you like. So this one would be number 2. I mean, 1, number 2. This would be number 2. This would be number 3. This would be number 4. This would be number 5. Number 6. 7. 8. And 9.